In today's tutorial, I will be showing you how to sublimate on a book bag and how to not make mistakes. So let's go ahead and get started with this tutorial, guys. Be sure to subscribe and be sure to like this video. And also, if you want to follow along the right way, you can buy this book bag and everything that we use from Greatblanks.com. Be sure to like this video if it helped you in any way, and also please subscribe to the YouTube channel. All right, guys, let's get started. All right, so after you put your image on sublimation paper, you want to then use this Spray Wave Fast Tack spray. This is a sticky spray that you actually will spray onto your the actual image that you'll be sublimating. Here we show you ourselves actually cutting the sublimation paper. Now, one thing that I want to talk about is people often try their best to make the image extremely perfect. But what we found that you have more success when you just have a little bit more background. So what we tend to do is we want to have more background, as in you don't want Daphne or Scooby-Doo head coming too close to where you're cutting. You want to cover more background right there. And here on this actual book bag, Miss Judy, she was rushing because she was trying to get this out for her niece. But on this, we found that we didn't actually have the sublimation coming all the way to the bottom like how we did for the top, and where we didn't have the sublimation coming to where there was more background, and because of that it cuts it off short, so it didn't get the perfect cut. Now we do have videos on YouTube showing you how to get the perfect cut. I'll probably leave them in the description, or you'll probably see a card coming up. But here we just add the heat tape, and as you see how it's too close to the edge. Now if we only had more picture, see how when we start our cut at the bottom, you'll see like it's just too close instead of it bleeding. You see how even on the side there's a lot more picture left, and when she's cutting that, she calls that bleed, so it's not bleeding at the bottom. And that's how you can easily make the mistake and still have white showing on to your book bag. So that's what we want to teach you inside of this section, all because you want to inside this video, all because you want to make your image too perfect. You always want to leave some type of image left to where when you're cutting, you're only cutting the background. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and throw the book bag onto our heat press. Here we put our butcher paper on the bottom so the ink won't bleed onto the actual heat press, and as you see, we hang the book bag hanging off the side with our heat tape, and then I hand her a little bit more butcher paper. And that the reason why we putting this butcher paper on here is because, for one, it's not the sublimation paper, so it bleeds, and we do not want any ink bleeding onto our heat press. Be sure that your heat press is on 400 degrees, and then we're going to go ahead and start the press, and we're going to let it be pressed for 50 seconds. All right, so now we're done. The heat press is done. So now we're going to go ahead and pull off the butcher paper and pull off the sublimation paper. But you'll notice at the bottom is that there is a small white gap. That goes back into what we talked about earlier. You always want to make sure that you have enough ink going over the white sublimated part of the book bag, and that ink will help you make it bleed just a little bit over. All right, guys, that's it for today's video. I want to say thank you for watching, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel, like the video, and leave a comment if you have any questions.